the weekly update for the Mind Blower. I have Corey here. He's going to answer some questions that you guys have been asking us. So Corey, people have told us that there were going to be tunnels where you actually go through the dark on this coaster. Is that still happening?
Yeah, I think we have some places on the ride. There are 2 locations where we've left some framing for the tunnels. I think the tunnels are going to come a little bit later in the season.
Okay.
So eventually, but you'll be able to see them as you're going through them. You'll see structure for tunnels, but it won't be completely enclosed yet.
All right, we just wanted to see if that was still in the pipeline.
Yeah, they're there. They're all on this end of the ride. All the fun's on this end. No, I'm just kidding. It's everywhere.
So explain to us how the trains are actually attached to the track. How do they stay on there?
Sure, yeah.
Especially since we're going upside down.
Sure, no, like roller coaster cars, unlike our vehicles when we're just driving, there's a wheel on the top, there's a wheel on the bottom, and there's a wheel on the side. So we actually are hugging the track. We completely surround the track. So any roller coaster, if you look at the wheels, they typically have 3 wheels. We'd call them like a top wheel, a side wheel, and an up stop or uplift wheel. And so this is no different than that. So even if you're upside down and the ride were to stop completely, there'd be a wheel that would be holding it onto the track. And in the moments of airtime, that's what you have as well. Like you're actually going from the road wheel where you'll be riding on the uplift wheel on the underside, the lip of the track. So when you feel like you're floating, there's another wheel riding on the underside of the track.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Safe, clean, fun. I'm glad to know that you, the professionals, have this 100% covered.
That's right. Well, it's 3, 2, 1, safe, clean, fun, right?
Yes, it is. So do we have an estimate of how long the ride will actually be?
Oh, you mean time-wise?
Yes, from time that they let you out of the gates to the time that we get back.
Yeah, I have that number. It's probably about, you're probably going to go up the hill, and maybe that's 20 seconds. It's probably about a minute. I'm going to say a minute to win it.
So we have had a lot of questions on these horizontal bars, which now have wood on them as well. Yes, they have decking. A lot of people, even management, have been asking, whoa, it looks like we're going to hit our head. Tell us their function. We know they're temporary. What do you guys do with them, and then when do they come off? Yeah,
that's a temporary work platform that we have up there right now. And it's there mainly so that, everything with our wood roller coaster. With the wood roller coaster, you have to put the boards up and physically cut the track to the shape of, the perfect shape. And so in order to do that, we need to be able to access it. And so when you're upside down and you're trying to build something, we need to have a work platform that our guys can work off of. And so like all the white tubes, like there's some channel and then there's some tubes hanging down, and that's actually all going to come down, and you're going to be very exposed. You'll just see the roof of the station when you're going over our extended 50-foot inversion.
Awesome. 50 feet of inversion. So when you guys are completely done building that area, both the horizontal bars and the decking will be
the wood decking all gets removed. We don't want, it's all designed. I'm tall, so I obviously am able to ride the ride. And so I'm like the human clearance envelope.
Thank you, as the guinea pig.
That's right. We wouldn't want to build anything that would be too small for me to ride.
Yes, I like that. I feel comfortable with you as the guinea pig. That
well, as long as I always, try to ride first with my hands out.
So back when I asked you about how the cars stay on the track, is there a certain speed that they have to go, or so they don't get stuck places, and how do you find that out?
You mean on the ride in general?
Yes. Like how do you know how fast the carts actually have to go, so they don't get stuck in like a dip,
Yeah, that comes down to physics and some potential energy, kinetic energy, and we have a loss factor for our cars.
Okay.
And so basically through the whole ride. There are a few places, like when you go up the lift hill, you know how there's the click, 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 click. And what there is the chain is pulling you up, but there's also something called ratchet steel or anti-rollback steel right there.
Okay.
And so there are a few key places on the ride where in cooler temperatures or when you're first breaking in the ride, where we might put a piece of that ratchet steel so that if it did slow down during our testing or whatnot, it wouldn't fall back into a valley.
Okay.
And so, you know, basically we look at the math, the physics behind the ride, look for areas of low energy, and if there are areas of low energy, we would install some ratchet steel or anti-rollback steel. Now in the case of your ride, after the first drop, I mean, your ride overall is pretty low to the ground. And so, in general, like just kind of going off the cuff here, I would say that there really aren't many locations where you would have any ratchet steel on this ride, because it's a really tall ride for its length, and it's pretty low to the ground in all places except for, you know, the inversion's the highest point after the first drop.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
So yeah, if we did our math right, which so far we've had a good streak for our 20 plus rides,
yes,
then we won't have any problems here.
So what grade did you make in physics?
I did really well in school.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were asking, how can you have a barrel roll with no shoulder harness? That's it.
No, it really comes down to our cars and where we're trying to hold people in, and we actually hold people in at your thighs.
Okay.
I think there are different types of restraint systems that are out there. Some hold you in more at your gut. We go to kind of hold your legs in and at your thigh area, and you'll notice that on a lot of people, like our lap bar, for instance, it's not just a flat bar, but it's a continuously curving bar.
Okay.
And so in the areas where an adult might use it might be a flatter curve, but then for a child it's a much sharper curve.
Okay.
And so we just basically designed something that holds guests at their legs. And I mean, from an adult standpoint, there's not a lot of variation from a thigh standpoint either.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
And there's backup on that.
Yeah, well, and this ride there'll be seat belts as an option as well. They were optional, but they were added at the request of the park. So our rides, I mean, you can go upside down without them. So.
Okay. Good. Well, Korey, thank you so much for letting us pick your brain today, and of course, thank you so much for all the work that you and your team are putting in. We are so excited about this coaster. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, like us, follow us, subscribe, ask questions, leave comments. We love hearing your thoughts and what you want to hear. Remember, we'll be back every single week with updates on the Mind Blower. Have a good week.